Hey, what's up, Outkick fans? I'm Kurt Schilling. You know me as a three-time World Series champion. I'm joining Outkick to bring you a brand new baseball show where we talk about everything, but only baseball. And you should subscribe to the podcast on Outkick's YouTube and search for the podcast exclusively on Spotify.
As if the McCrispy couldn't get any better, Bacon and Ranch just entered the chat. The Bacon Ranch McCrispy. Available at participating McDonald's for a limited time. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
The Purple Mafia, with your host, Paladino Joey.
Well, we'll see. The doctors would disagree, but what do they know?
So let's just say that you'll pay me because it's in your interest to pay me.
Is it worth it? I mean, you've won. Do you want to wipe everybody out?
I don't feel I have to wipe everybody out, Tom. Just my enemies. That's all. My father taught me many things. He taught me, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer.
These are wonderful things that we've achieved, and there's no limit to where we can go from here.
Welcome to the family here on Purple Mafia. It is State of the Vikings 2014. Boy, we're already at 2014 for State of the Vikings. I'm your host, Paladino Joey, and with me, ladies and look at you. Sebastian Valls is in here. Yes, sir, he is in the house.
Woot woot.
Welcome aboard.
It is nice to be aboard.
It is. This is the same guy, ladies and gentlemen. This is Sebastian Valls. He is on board. He is here to do State of the Vikings 2014. So, where do we go from here? There's about 700 bajillion topics. Yeah, about 700 bajillion. We'll try to get to what we can, because we can't have a 4-hour show. But the good news is it's all going to be pretty exciting. And well, Sebastian is joining me from Seattle. So talk about, rant a little bit about the Seattle fans, why don't you?
Alright, so this is a perfect Seattle fan type of thing. Mm-hmm. I go down the street in my Minnesota Vikings jersey and my brand new hat. I've got the $300 jersey, the brand new one. And it's always raining out here. That's what you should know. It's a perfect stereotype. Walking down the road, and we always have puddles because we have lopsided roads out here for some reason, like MnDOT doesn't work out here.
Oh, yeah.
And so I get splashed all the time on purpose.
Wow, because you're wearing a jersey?
Just because I'm wearing a Minnesota Vikings jersey, even though they kicked our butts 2 years in a row.
Yeah, it's like take your win, enjoy it, you got your ring, that should be enough. Like, why do you need to rub it in? Especially when they... Well, it's we know it's Vikings Northwest too. We'll always remember that one.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you like me repeating that all the time. I apologize. I'm like a broken record sometimes, aren't I? Like Joey.
Didn't Sidney Rice just leave Seattle too?
He's a free agent at least right now. So let's get him. No, I don't know about that. I liked him when he was here for the first year anyway. At least the year with Favre, I liked him, and then he just became Mr. Injury Prone and couldn't play.
I was going to say, his first year he was injured.
Yeah, it was. The second year, too, and then the third was that good one in 2009.
That was his third year?
Yeah. Yep. 2007 was his first year, if you can believe that. With he was a second-round pick behind Adrian in 2007, if you can believe it. It's been that long already.
So he's been in the league 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hope we don't go get him.
No, it's okay, right? Yeah, it's too much of a what do they call that? Damaged goods.
Oh God, that is like thrown away and stepped on goods.
Mm-hmm. That's perfect. Oh man, so what do you think of this new stadium coming up?
I'm excited. I am definitely going to come back to Minnesota and see it. It's going to be a palace. I keep telling people out here about it because they think their stadium's all that.
Yeah. Mm.
And I'm like, half of this thing is going to be glass, and the doors are 2 stories high, made out of glass. And they're like, what?
Yeah.
Like, that's
really?
impossible. I'm like, no.
Yeah, it's like a special kind of substance that doesn't break as easy as glass, but yeah, basically, it's a clear roof, clear side. Like not the whole thing will be clear, obviously, but enough to basically give us that really neat looking outside feeling. I was telling my fiance that when I was walking in Camp Snoopy the other day, or well, it's not Camp Snoopy, it's Nickelodeon, but
Camp Snoopy.
Excuse me, yeah, that's like 92, but it was that once upon a time, but. Yeah, I was showing her. Well, I was saying this was exactly where Met Stadium was, like 30 years ago. Here's home plate, believe it or not, and then look at the roof. That's kind of what the stadium's going to look like, except ours is going to be much better. But you get the idea. The sunlight can come in there, so kind of cool. So it's kind of a sneaky little hint of what we're in for.
I'm excited for it too, because it's definitely going to be a new innovation to NFL stadiums.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wants to get these open air, outside stadiums again with natural grass. Well, ours is going to probably have natural grass, believe it or not.
That's pretty neat.
But we don't have to have that Minnesota frigid air.
Yeah, it's like it was good back in the obviously 30 years ago, but yeah, I don't know if we need that right now. This winter would have killed everybody. I think it's pretty harsh. And,
yeah. Might have been blacked out every game.
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much. And watch out for TCF the next 2 years. That's the other thing. But yeah, the dome's almost gone, so I figure we got to talk about that because I'm kind of addicted to watching the webcam almost every day, even at work, which is kind of like against the rules, but a little bit. But that's hopefully they're not listening. Yeah, I'm really hooked on watching this. I like watching new stadiums come up. I used to watch Target Field coming up too. And even Xcel Energy Center. Yeah, yep.
You're not even a baseball fan.
Yeah, I mean, I like it, but I am a baseball fan. I still follow it, but yeah, it's not my, it's not my favorite, we'll say. It's not basketball or football.
All right, so let's get on to free agency.
Yeah.
Who do you like what they're taking so far? It doesn't have to be Vikings, but, what's your favorite, player taken?
The favorite player in all of free agency right now?
Well, what's the best deal that you've seen taken by another team? Like O.C. Umanera or somebody like that.
Ooh, boy. Well, Darrelle Revis going to the Patriots is really good. I mean, yeah, he's kind of been damaged goods a little bit too, but that is a really, really, really Bill Belichick move right there for the New England Patriots. He's an elite cornerback. Only a 1-year deal, so no major risk, but still obviously a nice payday, $12 million a year, or the year, excuse me. Very good move for the Patriots. Not sure that's going to necessarily get them in the Super Bowl, but who knows?
Hey, it's better than Aqib Talib getting injured in 2 straight AFC Championship games.
That's very, very true. Yeah, what's your favorite deal so far?
I'd have to go with Oakland Raiders. And go with the black hole over there and say LaMarr Woodley. And who else did they take?
It was right there. Yep.
Justin Tuck.
Yep.
There we go.
Yep.
Justin Tuck and LaMarr Woodley, that defense is set. I don't think they have to take a quarterback. They've got Terrell Pryor. I think they're pretty much good.
Can you believe it? Yeah, the Oakland Raiders just might be coming out of the black hole. Just maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, until Rich Gannon, unless Rich Gannon comes back, maybe then they'll definitely be out of it. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, right.
I'm just teasing. No, I like that guy. He comes on Barrero here locally a lot. He's a pretty cool NFL insider, and obviously was great for them many years ago. It would be nice to see the Raiders come out of that black hole, though. Just in my opinion.
Black hole.
Who's that?
Jacksonville Jaguars, where they're over-signing a Toby Gerhart.
What are they thinking? And why would he go there? They
signed him to a starting deal.
Yeah. And why would he go there? Yep, Toby Gerhart is going to the Jags.
Well, Maurice Jones-Drew just did leave, so...
Yeah. Yep, he's a free agent. Yeah, and whereas what I don't understand is why he went there. I would have thought maybe like a Denver or something, but I remember we actually even thought that. Remember that?
Yeah.
I thought that would be a good fit. I mean, Moreno's a free agent, so there's an opening. Maybe Denver wasn't interested, I guess. I would have thought he could do better than Jacksonville, though. Talk about black holes.
I think it's definitely the money, too.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I remember my first ever episode, I keep saying the Chester Taylor one, how they leave for money. Look at Toby Gerhardt. He's leaving for the money, and he's going to go to a team that I honestly don't think he's going to do that well in.
Probably not. I mean, that's kind of another, like, one of those teams where players go there to die, it seems like. For the most part, or never get born, so to speak. Like I haven't really seen too much out of a lot of their draft picks over the years. Obviously, they just traded away wonderful quarterback to the San Francisco 49ers, Blaine Gabbert.
Like, why can't we do that with Christian Ponder or, like, for a water boy or something?
We could. We could get a water boy. Maybe he'll get 22 sacks or something, just like that Goofy movie. Sorry. I had to bring that up.
Bring the ball back to the wrong end zone.
Mm-hmm. Like, whoa, no, the other way.
Oh, man, that would be pretty cool, though.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, I had to bring that up. Oh, man.
Classic movie.
Mm-hmm. Yep, about 98, I believe. Yeah, 98, 99.
I don't know. I'd have been 3 years old then.
Uh-oh, look at me. Yeah, but free agency, though, this is basically the whole gist of this thing. I mean, I'm just, like, intimidated by it because there's so much going on. I mean, sometimes they come on Purple Mafia, and it's just, it's free agency. Well, I mean, it's free agency, but, yeah, other teams are doing stuff, but we're getting Sage Rosenfels or something, basically. This year, it's just like, oh, my.
Right.
Remember that?
Oh, my God, so do I.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we're losing Chester Taylor. That was one of the first episodes you listened to, wasn't it?
That was my second episode I ever listened to, but that was the one that got me hooked.
Thank you. Yeah, I still like, I had fun doing that one. It was a little rant about how he just took off for the money.
And then he went to Chicago, failed, went to Baltimore, failed.
Mm-hmm. Or Arizona, I believe, wasn't it? Yeah. I think he originally came from Baltimore, believe it or not. But, yeah. Yeah, either way. Yeah, he came from Baltimore, Minnesota.
Chicago. He went to a bird.
Yeah, yep, exactly. Yeah, either way, he went to a bird and, yeah. He got eaten up, literally. So the Vikings...
What do you think of...
Go ahead.
What were you saying?
Oh, no, go ahead. I'll let you say it. Yeah.
I was going to say, what did you think of Tampa Bay's new acquisitions?
Oh, my God. Yeah, they're getting... they took two guys that a lot of us here in Minnesota really wanted, Eltron Werner and Michael Johnson. Yeah, a lot of people not too happy about that, though. Werner's got a reputation of being burned, though. That's the one thing. Werner the burner, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. I wasn't on board with the Johnson as much just because he was coming from a top 2 defense.
Yeah.
So he was going to get that big buck type of deal.
Mm-hmm.
So, I didn't want to see Minnesota spending that much money on somebody who, yes, has proved himself, but at the same time, we don't know what kind of production we're going to get out of him because he's going to be going to a different type of defensive scheme.
Yeah, and it's like the whole system type of thing. Maybe he was successful in the system more than, like, maybe it was the system making him the money versus him making it. That might be some of the fear from some people, I suppose, coming in. I mean, yeah, it's happened all over the league, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hey, now Leslie Frazier has no room to fail, right?
He better not. For his sake, he better not. I mean, he's got some pieces. I wouldn't, if I was a cornerback, I wouldn't really want to be at the Tampa 2 too much. Not like in the success rate of them, at least around here.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe who they named to be their starting quarterback pretty much already.
Yeah, that was the other one, the other signing. Do you want to say it?
Oh, the brutal Josh McCown out of Chicago.
Josh McCown. Yeah, I mean, I'm not quite as down on him as you, but at the same time, I could see I can see why you wouldn't be necessarily as excited about him as they are. That's for sure.
Well, to be fair, Chicago is our rival, and the only time we got to see him is when Cutler got injured, so that was like our favorite moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Cutler. It seemed like, though in a way, it seemed like he stabilized things a little more than Cutler, but Yeah, obviously Cutler's definitely the more talented guy of the two. Yeah, teams do that though. They get all excited about signing the backup quarterback, and then not too much happens after that.
You know what quarterback I am happy about the signing of, though?
What's that one?
Matt Castle.
That's correct. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
You know, we needed somebody who's stable and that isn't Michael Vick.
I'm with you. Yep, I'm with you. I wasn't sure how you felt about Castle and Vick. Yeah, I'm with you. Vick, you know, there's some scary statistics about that guy. You know what his career high in touchdown passes was?
No, I don't.
21, and he did it with the Eagles. He never even did it with Atlanta. So it's just his accuracy. He cleared 60% once in his whole career.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's like I look at I mean, just simple statistics. You look at it, and no one has to be like, you have to know this stat and this stat. It's just something I had to look at because, well, what the heck? I mean, those stats kind of flew out and slapped me in the face. That guy.
That's like worse than Christian Ponder.
Yeah, those are not good numbers. It's like, sure, he's athletic, exciting, this and that, big arm, but when your accuracy's low and you don't throw touchdown passes, I don't know. I'm not really sure that's a guy I want leading my franchise, even as a bridge quarterback. Castle's not exactly, Peyton Manning or anything, but I think he's more stable. Yeah, and he's less likely to get hurt too.
Yeah, I know. I was reading a ESPN blog or something like that saying how Matt Castle threw like 80% of the Vikings' touchdowns. Jennings had all of his touchdowns from him. Cordero had all of his except for one.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, Jennings, all of his touchdowns were from Matt Castle. Yep, and I was even looking at that during the season back in the year too. That's very true. Castle, the chemistry with Castle and a lot of these important receivers on the team was definitely noted versus Christian Ponder. Pick six Ponder or whatever we want to call him. He's getting us murdered out there, wasn't he?
Oh my goodness. That Michael Vick type of thing brings back memories of Donovan McNabb throwing it at Bernard Berrien's feet.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering could happen again, to be honest. Wouldn't surprise me. And then Jennings to be the next Berrien, I guess, like, get him out of here.
Oh, yeah. How do you feel about Everson Griffin being our new right end?
Boy, I like it a lot in one way, but the one thing that scares me a teeny bit, last year, just his production, it really dropped off. I'm wondering what the deal was with that, to be honest. He wasn't really... I barely saw him like the whole year. In stretches, he'd look good, but the year before, it's like, oh yeah, he's definitely the heir apparent. But last year, the drop off is a little bit frightening, though.
Well, I don't think he got as many snaps last year. I didn't look up any of the statistics, but he was saying on PA's show that he was being moved from every which position too. He was even put at nose for a few of those snaps, so that's that'd be pretty mentally tolling too.
Yeah, that's way off from what he's supposed to be. Pass rushing end like that, to be a nose tackle. That's crazy. So
yeah, I know, and I think it's the London game. You actually seen him line up left of Allen, which is kind of weird to see. That's a defensive tackle spot. Yeah, I put him in DT. Yeah, where you think he's a little undersized for that. He's well under 300 pounds, so I don't know. I don't know, but we definitely got somebody for that spot now. Yeah, that's the new one. What's his name again? No, I'm. Yeah, I really like that. Linval Joseph. What's that? Huh? It's a Linval Joseph. Yeah, sorry, I didn't want to step on your toes there. Yeah, Linval Joseph. What do you think of this one? He's a beast. I was looking at some of that the tape, and his awareness of where he needs to be is just so spot on. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's really going to be a nice run stopper for us. Really, as they like say, this is a cliche, obviously in the media right now, but he's the first literal real pass. Excuse me, what am I talking about? Run stopper to plug the hole since Fat Pat Williams. Definitely a welcome aboard.
welcome member to the defensive line, that's for sure.
What do you think of Minnesota going after Kevin Williams again?
Ooh, Kevin Williams. Yeah, it's like, who again? No, I'm kidding. Yeah, the last several years, it seemed like he just got quieter and quieter until he had that big response after he finally questioned the coaching staff last year. Remember that? That was something. And then he had
Yes, I do.
Yeah, then he had that awesome game. And then that was pretty much his sack total the rest of the year after that. But I wouldn't be too upset if we were able to bring him back at a decent price. Would you like to have him back?
It kind of confuses me, too, that we're going after him. I mean, like, we have Linval Joseph, Sharif Floyd, and after that, like, is it going to be a rotational type of thing, too, that is going to make our players unhappy?
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be, it's going to be a little bit of a logjam, I think. That's the one thing. Some players aren't going to get a lot of playing time if Kevin Williams is brought back. That could be an issue where you don't necessarily want to have a whole chemistry issue. Sharif Floyd, I'd like to see him continue to get more and more time out there. In fact, some people, I believe it was Carl O'Neill, think Sharif Floyd's not ready to start. I guess that's kind of a wait and see type of thing. Would you like to see Sharif Floyd starting?
I would love to see Sharif Floyd starting to the only sheer fact of the only way we're going to know how good he is if he plays.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's going to have to get playing time. He's going to have to get those reps. Lots of hype coming out of college and then slipped down to Minnesota at 23 last year. That was like, oh, okay. You know how you have like your quote unquote draft board, so to speak, coming in, like your little mental draft board. Maybe if you don't write them down, like who you think will probably be there. And it just blew my mind. I was like, oh, what? I didn't even know he was there. It just blew my mind. So sometimes guys slip for a reason, and sometimes they're just, I don't know. Sometimes people pass up on the wrong guy. Hopefully that's the case this time around.
I definitely think it will be, to sheer fact of back even looking at his college day tape. He has good awareness, like I said, of the gap control type of issue, to where we've had, defensive tackles in the past who have not been in the right gaps nearly at the right time. So,
yeah, he's been.
I think it's just a matter of him catching up to speed.
Yeah, that's kind of what it is. Yeah, that's a good take right there. Yeah, he just needs to catch up to speed. That's what's really going to make the difference, I think, with him and Everson Griffin a bit too, to an extent. I think he's more caught up, obviously, at this point, but than Sharif. But if he does, here we go. We may have something going on here. And of course, obviously, you have the run stopper to help out. People are going to have to double him at times because of his size and his ability. All of a sudden, that's going to free up people. Maybe Everson Griffin, maybe Sharif, maybe Mr. Speed, Brian Robinson. So that would be terrific. I would say 9 sacks last year. So I'm very happy about that.
And I've got one thing to say. For all the Allen fans like myself who are sad to see him leave, remember how we thought how our team was ruined when Ray Edwards left and Brian Robinson came in, and you're like, who?
Yeah.
Everything's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Even if Everson Griffin doesn't work out, we will swap somebody right into there. A defense or a right end is not a hard position to find.
They're out there, believe it or not. Yeah, it can happen. And that's a good take too, right there with Brian Robinson. Look how he filled that void. He's been fantastic. Definitely wasn't this huge name coming out of college, and you read my mind. I was about to kind of jump into Jared Allen too at the same time. Great minds think alike, right?
Oh God, yeah.
But I'll miss him to an extent, but it's just one of those things where it's time. So I'm not I'm not too upset in those terms where you kind of know it's time regardless. It's just going to happen. It is what it is, which may be the same situation as Kevin Williams, though I'm sure some out there will disagree. Some agree, disagree. It's just kind of one of those things where you just take a side, I guess, on Kevin Williams at this point. I'm kind of conditioned to the fact that he's leaving. That's just how I feel at this point. But plus, you need playing time for the Sharifs. You need Sharif out there. Oh, I'd actually like to see that. It's like, where do we go from here? There's some more signings. Cornerback, since we did sign one linebacker. Yeah, I hope he's even slightly. I'm sure he'll be better than Aaron Henderson anyway.
The sliding glass door is better than Aaron Henderson.
Oh my, was he really? Were they really serious putting him at middle linebacker?
I think we're desperate.
Mm-hmm.
I think the position that we're taking now, too, is we're obviously showing that we're going to be a 4-3 defense again. With bringing Jasper Brinkley in, is we're going to give Adi Cole the shot. It's pretty apparent because we're not signing some big name guy at middle linebacker. We're signing somebody who has been in the same position as in Adi Cole or Mike Motti. And all three of those guys are going to fight it out during the preseason, which is going to make it exciting.
I think it will. Yeah, it'd be nice to see it happen. Adi Cole. Remember they actually cut him last year, and then he came back right away and was really good.
Yeah,
pretty crazy.
It's funny how that works.
Isn't that crazy? It's like, oh, sorry about that.
Didn't he cut his hair at that same time too?
I think so. So he was kind of like the anti-Samson, where some people at work, we kind of had a chuckle about it. That Jared Allen is Samson because he was so good with his long hair and he cut his hair and his production dropped off a bit.
Oh, yeah.
Just like Samson. So this guy's the opposite. So we'll just call him San. Okay, I can't even go there. Samson. I can't even do it. I'll screw it up.
Did you hear Allen's threatening to leave the league if he doesn't get an offer good enough to his liking?
Yep. It sounds like Antoine Winfield syndrome. Like, I'm out of here. Yeah, I hate when players do this kind of stuff. It's sad. He would fit in so well with San Francisco, New England, Denver. I mean, there's so many good teams. Seattle, he almost went there. So, via trade, of course.
Let's hope not. Then it'll truly be Vikings Northwest again.
Yeah, it would be absolutely Vikings Northwest. I mean, it goes all the way back to Warren Moon going there. So the whole list, heck, it might even be earlier than that. But that's as far back as I can remember. 97. Yep. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. Seattle Vikings. I thought it was going to happen last year, and I would have totally figured, and he would have got his ring. Maybe he would have just retired if he wanted to. But I think 31's too young to retire, personally.
Well, you never know. Rashard Mendenhall of the great Steelers, of how much you love them.
Ugh.
He retired last year after only 4 or 5 years in the league.
Isn't that crazy? I couldn't believe it. Like, what?
Get your money and walk, I guess.
Yeah, it just blows my mind sometimes the way some of these guys just walk away. Excuse me, I'm going to die of coughing here. Yeah, seems like that's all I do is cough on this show. Sorry about that. I think the Vikings do that sometimes. So, cornerbacks. Shields re-signs with his Packers. The Vikings were after Werner. Everybody in town wanted Alteran Werner, and of course, as we said earlier, he's a Buck, which kind of was upsetting a little bit. And like I just said earlier, too, he seemed to get burned a lot. So now it's time for the captain to come in. Yes, the captain. Yes, Captain Munnerlyn of the Carolina Panthers has signed now a 3-year deal. They tried to get 5, tried to get 4, and they've agreed on a 3-year deal for Captain Munnerlyn. You like it?
I'm in love with the deal, just to the sheer fact of when we look at who we love as in Chris Cook, and then we look at Captain Munnerlyn. You're looking at a guy whose last of his 4 interceptions have all went back to the house. You're looking at a guy who's not only a corner, but he's a solid punt returner for when we don't want Marcus Sherrills back there, or a Cordero Patterson.
It's a pretty good, yeah.
He's pretty
nifty.
I don't see a lot of tape of him getting burnt a lot either. He's pretty solid.
Yeah, I like it too. This could end up being one of those great moves that the Vikings make. They haven't made a lot all the time, as we know. But hey, we got a cornerback to go with Xavier Rhodes. That's what I like about all this. Now we have a guy who can actually, we actually are set at both positions, at least for a little while, provided things work out the way they're supposed to. I mean, we all know how that can change overnight as well at times, where The old sophomore slump or whatever it is that happens way too much. He was a 7th-round pick by the Panthers, so that's one of those picks that worked out really nice.
Oh, yeah, and I mean, like, it makes you look at the draft, too, and think of how silly it is sometimes. You're like, okay, draft, number 1, 2 picks, that's awesome, but we look at, people like, what's his name, Captain Marlin over there, and he was a 7th-round pick,
Yeah.
It's like, come on, guys.
Yeah, I mean, we can't even get a cornerback in the 2nd round around here. I mean, if it's not a 1st-round pick, with Xavier Rhodes, he's the only 1st-round cornerback we've taken in X amount of years. We can't even get a good guy in the 2nd round. I mean, Asher Allens and such, those have been bust over and over and over again, especially over the course of the last 10 years or so. I mean, that's all we've been getting. Was it Eric Kelly? I think Cedric Griffin was a good one when he traded up. He was good until he started getting hurt, right? Yep. And then down the toilet he went after he got hurt. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, Captain Munnerlyn, he's got 5 pick sixes in his career out of 7 interceptions he's had. Pretty crazy.
It makes me optimistic to think that he can actually bring one back to the house to where Cook has never had an interception before.
Yeah, I mean, barely even a pass deflection for crying out loud. Much less interceptions. He doesn't force fumbles. He has not forced a single turnover in his whole career. Or Munnerlyn. Obviously, he's a super athlete. So here we go. Rock and roll. Only 5'8", so kind of like a Marcus Sherrills, but a much better version, we'll say. He will be turning 26 on April 10th. So nice career ahead of him still, as well. Gotta like that.
Yeah, what I like it too is he's 6 years into the league or something like that. So he's got that speed under his belt. He's got the game flow already. So it's not much of a learning curve.
Yeah, he's already been there and done that. And then gotta say that Carolina Panthers defense last year was pretty damn impressive.
Oh yeah.
I liked it a lot. I mean, the way they they completely stifled us, that's for sure. Made Matt Castle, the coaches stupidly bench him after that game, which a lot of us don't understand. And they just went on a win streak that lasted pretty much the rest of the year until they got to San Francisco. Hosted San Francisco. That's correct. San Francisco did not even win their division last year, if you can believe that. But they held San Francisco at bay for a while until the Niners kind of just wrapped things up.
Yeah, I'm definitely on board with this Captain Munnerlyn situation, though. Out of everything,
it's nice.
It's nice to have somebody come from such a good defense too. At that same time, that we're not spending all this money on. That's one of the big things when I look at a Vikings free agency is like, can we sign people that are actually halfway good, that are worth money, but without overspending on money?
Yeah, that's a big deal. And we have a ton of cap space, but you want to be able to get more than 1 or 2 guys. Like back in the day, we would sign a guy to $1 trillion. Sometimes it worked out. Antoine Winfield, it wasn't $1 trillion, but it was a lot. Fred Smoot, oh my God. Oh, they basically signed Cedric Griffin in that one. Or no, Chris Cook will say. He was terrible for even more than Antoine Winfield, pardon me. Got Williams on the mind now. But, obviously it was a bust. We weren't able to sign anybody else that year. So, like you said, great move there in that sense. Apparently, we're on the verge of signing another cornerback, though.
Who's that?
Heck? That's Cox out of San Diego. Derek Cox.
Hey, San Diego had a good defense. They brought him to the playoffs.
They've been impressive. They're one of those sneaky teams. In fact, actually, the Vikings, Derek Cox. It's pretty crazy. I guess, already has been signed. What the heck? That was quick. He's had a lot of interceptions in his career. He had 4 interceptions in 2009, 4 interceptions in 2010, 4 interceptions in 2012.
Wow.
And then, isn't that nuts? And then 1 last year. None of them to the house, but still. Wow, that's a lot of interceptions. He's got 13 in his career since 2009.
See, now this makes me perfectly optimistic to the future. So our cornerback situation is 1, Captain, 2, Xavier Rhodes, or no, 1, Rhodes, 2, Cox, or Cooks, whatever his name is, and then 3,
Cox, yep.
Captain because of his size.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Pretty
perfect
cool.
because it's usually the slot guy who will ever bring one back to the house because they're trying to do that sneaky deep underneath thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pumped. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I am. These are some nice moves. It's like, I mean, obviously you never know. Like, they don't necessarily always work out, but these guys are serious upgrades over that garbage we had at defense last year. Absolute garbage. And of course, when the head coach is supposed to be a defensive specialist, defensive coordinator, and all that, and the defense is about as bad as you've ever seen, yeah, the coach is fired. I mean, that was like, like I was saying, Leslie Frazier was fired when we lost to the Cleveland Browns. Like, I mean, I knew it right then. There was no coming back from that.
I was at that game.
Oh my God! Wow. Huh. So you
Yeah,
saw
when they
that?
did those 2 fakes on us.
Yeah, double faked.
I think that was the only time I've heard the Metrodome to where you could have crickets in it.
Mm-hmm. Wait, the Metrodome? Don't you mean that pile of rubble over there with a little dirt remaining? And there's one section left. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's about that. That's about what that game was too. It was basically like you take a picture of the Metrodome today and you show people what it looks like. That's basically what it felt like at that point in time. That Cleveland game. It's like this thing's done.
We knew our season was done.
Oh yeah, totally. We definitely did know it. This Cox guy too. He's 6'1", by the way, so he's a bigger one too. Captain is only 5'8", I believe. That's the crazy part. But why? That's okay because obviously you have Xavier's really big, and Captain is a good player regardless if he's tall or short, just like Antoine Winfield. Gotta like what's going on there. We bounce and bounce and bounce, but actually we're not really bouncing. We're all on one subject, and that's called the free agency. It's like, who else did we sign? Yeah, we did sign Marcus Sherrills. So I like that. Yeah, I like it. You know, he's solid. I mean, he's kind of saved the day at times last year when guys are getting hurt. It's like, well, this guy's better anyway. Wasn't it like that?
Want to know what's funny about that?
Mm-hmm.
I was sitting next to a whole bunch of Cleveland Browns fans during that game, and they were like, the only cornerback who's actually playing is number 35. I go, yeah, a former Golden Gopher.
Yeah, a Gopher. Isn't that crazy?
Yep. Yeah,
That's
he's
crazy.
supposed to be cut like 5 or 6 times over, right?
Yeah, he was basically, yeah, I mean, I think the first time around, I remember kind of cheering for him, like, you know, he's not bad. I kept watching him in those preseason games his first time around. He did get cut, but signed to the practice squad the first time, and then he made it the next year, and he's kind of stuck ever since.
I think it's got something to do with the U of M. I really do.
You think so?
No, but he is a solid
That's good.
returner.
Yeah, it's been good, you know, and his coverage is good enough to be in the NFL too. That's what I like. Where I think some of the guys we've been getting rid of lately, not quite. No.
He's good enough to make ESPN's blooper reel for everybody who's on the return team.
Yeah, that's for sure too. And at times I call him a fair catch, Sherrills, but it seems like whenever he does get enough freedom to not have to fair catch it, he's a threat.
Definitely.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. So, anything else you'd like to add to free agency before we move on?
Yeah, cut Ponder.
Yes. Cut or trade. That would be nice. Something, anything. Just get him out of here. We don't even want to hear the words Christian Ponder. Gives us the best chance to win this upcoming week.
I don't care if we have a $3 million cap penalty against that. We just wasted 2.5 on Josh Freeman last year. We can cut him, guys.
Yeah, Josh Freeman. Oh my God. Yep. Where will he end up? I think he's
Tampa.
Yeah, wouldn't that be something? You know, that wouldn't surprise me. As sick as that sounds, that wouldn't surprise me actually. It really wouldn't. You know, obviously it's a different coach now, and that would be funny.
No, I think the only reason Leslie Frazier got that job is because he was a former Bear.
Yeah, under Lovey. You can go work with a former Bear coach with Lovey Smith. And of course, they both like swear by the Tampa too, and then of all crazy things, it's Tampa Bay too. So it just gets it's like a web of like jokes you could tack into that one, isn't it?
All I can hear is Tampa burnt.
I hope they go 0-16. Is that okay to say? Is that okay?
I hope Green Bay goes 0-16.
Yeah, it'd be even better. It's like who's this Rodgers guy?
That would be nice.
That would be awesome. That really would be. So, I think now, yeah, I changed the structure a little bit. At first, we were just going to go stadium, when we started introduction, and then stadium, and then break. But we'll take a break now, and then do some draft talk, and then take a second break, and then it will be the season wrap up with the fan interaction. So there you go. And I'll try to keep the fan interaction a little bit more brief than what's on Facebook, because it's a little much over the course of a month. And I do apologize. It's been a while. Hadn't been feeling my best and all that. And then just this came up, that came up, all that type of deal. But back and rocking and rolling with Sebastian. Yes. We'll be back right after this.
Shop on Amazon? Did you know that you can support this podcast just by doing your normal shopping on Amazon? It's really easy to do. Just go to thesportstuff.com and click on one of the many Amazon pictures. Do your normal shopping, and Amazon sees that we referred you, and they give us a percentage. We'd like to thank you in advance for supporting thesportstuff.com, and please use our Amazon link. Now enjoy the rest of the show.
We are going round like Saturn III.
Too busy to sit in front of a computer? Simply download Purple Mafia on iTunes for Apple devices. For Android, download the Double Twist app. And for Windows and BlackBerry phones, simply find us in the store. And now, back to Paladino Joey. And we are back here on Purple Mafia. It is time to talk a little draft. Minnesota Vikings, of course, do pick 8th overall. But now the million-dollar question is, who's going to be there? It keeps changing every single day. Of course it does. It always does when it's the NFL draft, though, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I think the true main question with nowadays draft, since it changed so much, is who's going to trade up and who's going to trade down.
Yeah, because something's going to happen. It always does. It's usually like a day before or something. There's some massive trade where somebody trades up to number 2 overall because they just want to marry Johnny Manziel or whoever it is.
Well, the thing with that too is I believe St. Louis and Cleveland have 2 draft picks. So in the first round, I think. Don't quote me on that. I think.
Yeah, it's. Yeah, it's one of. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we could kind of filter through that here in a second, but overall, I mean, there have been mock drafts that have the Texans taking Johnny Manziel. For the longest time, it was Teddy Bridgewater. Then it went all the way up to the point, oh no, it's Manziel now, and then Javon Clowney. It's all over the place now. Walter Football has Blake Bortles going number 1 overall to Houston. That's another quarterback out of Central Florida. Oh, I don't like to use those words, Central Florida. I don't know about all that. Kind of scares me. Clowney, that's a guy I'm sure a lot of people would like to see slip to the Vikings, but probably not going to happen.
I've actually seen him on a couple mock drafts on YouTube slipping all the way down to Atlanta just because of his dedication to the game.
So, yeah, it's just kind of a back and forth type of thing. Yeah, it just kind of depends on, I guess, what the mood is, or what are people sending up, like, fake messages, like, I don't know if I want this guy. Who knows what's going to happen. This one has have him going number 2 to Atlanta. Khalil Mack is a guy that some drafts had Vikings taking. This one has him going to the Jags, 3rd overall. I don't know. Are they really going to be passing on quarterbacks, though? Atlanta, of course, is going to pass on the quarterback, but I got to think Houston most likely will take one. Like 10 out of 10 chance. Whoever.
They do got TJ Yates, though, that they're working on.
Really?
I think so.
I kind of like him. Do you like him?
I think he's solid. I mean, like, I don't think he's been able to prove himself yet, but with given the chance, I mean, like, look at Aaron Rodgers. He had to sit behind Brett Favre for a couple of years, just like Yates had to Schaub, and it took Rodgers about a year.
Yeah, his first year he was a little bit wild. Still good though. You could see the talent was there, but yeah, remember how bad the Packers sucked? And yeah, I love that in 2008.
I love that year.
Yeah, and then 2009. Oh, great! Here we go again. No, please, not another super quarterback in Green Bay. We put up with it for almost 20 years. Now we got it 20 and 15 more years, whatever it is.
Hey, but we did beat him both times that year.
Wasn't that awesome? Oh, I still remember doing those shows.
I still remember listening.
Oh, do you? Were you listening back in 2009?
I was listening before that. I got listening just before that, the off season before that.
Wow, that's cool. I didn't know. Wow, okay. So
I've been listening for almost 5 years.
Wow, I didn't realize that. I kept thinking it was right around that 2010. Huh? So you were around during the good year, the very good year. Yeah. Well, so we bouncing a bit here. Yeah, it's man. I mean, yeah, I still remember that one though when we beat him in Green Bay. Sorry, that was such a emotional night for me. This one has Sammy Watkins from going to Cleveland, wide receiver, and then they have the Vikings, and winding up with Johnny Manziel, number 8, Bridgewater, number 7 to Tampa. So who knows what Tampa's going to do? Tampa Bay, I have no idea what they're going to do.
I think they're going defense. I mean, to get this out of the way, I think Raider Nation, the only pick that would only make sense in the history of everness is if they go with Sammy Watkins, a speed guy.
With Tampa?
I went straight to Oakland first. I went to Oakland first, and now I'm going to hit Tampa.
Sorry about that.
Sammy Watkins is going to go to Oakland just because he's a speed guy. Thus saying is going to open up a defensive spot for a free safety over there for Tampa Bay or a corner to look at. I think Clinton Dix is going to go higher than most people think, to be honest with you.
That would be interesting. Sometimes, yeah. I mean, yeah, that is the funniest name ever, by the way. Just yeah, this one has him going all the way down 14 to the Bears. Yeah, that kind of stuff does happen a lot, though, doesn't it? Where all of a sudden, boom, there you go. It's like,
Vikings.
Yeah, well, yeah. We could use it. We could use another safety because we have one. And then the other position's kind of a Band-Aid. Sanford looked good at times, but I don't know. Are you sold on him for much of a future at all?
Well, the good thing with Sanford is he can force fumbles, but that's about it.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, it's more than Medeo Williams ever did, but still, yeah, I mean, yeah. And I used to say all he ever did was hit people hard, and that's about it, and break E.J. Henderson's femur. That was fun. Pardon me for that.
Watching that game.
Yeah, that was a bad game. Oh, that was bad. We got roasted.
That was 2009 when we had such a good season too.
Yeah, but that was the hiccup game. Even a lot of good teams have those. Boy, who are the Vikings going to get at 8? Would you take Teddy Bridgewater? We'll say. I'll ask early on. Would you take him if he was there?
Nope, I will not take any quarterback within the first round. In my opinion, they're too overrated. I would wait till the second round, take a defensive player like a Khalil Mack, Clowney, or a Clinton Dix type of person.
I think
we've obviously solidified our cornerback spot, so
at least for the time being, yeah. With Castle, yeah, and then you put. Eventually, hopefully, we can find. I mean, that's the sad part. It's like you hope that we can be the team that gets lucky in the second round. Like, obviously, it's happened in San Francisco. It's happened in Seattle. It happened in New England many years ago.
Third.
What's that? Oh, yeah, he was. Yeah, that's true. Pardon me. Yeah, pardon me. Yeah, but I mean, still, like in the later rounds where obviously Brady's 6th round, so that's the crappy part. It's like you have to kind of count on luck, I guess. And obviously,
Aaron Rodgers was a 2nd round.
Oh, he went 24th, actually, didn't he? Yeah, 24th in the first.
Oh, he was first?
Yeah, yep.
Oh.
Breeze was the first pick in the 2nd round, if I remember correctly, to San Diego. Yep.
Yeah.
So once in a while. Oh, what's that?
Said that was forever ago now.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. I still remember him tearing up the Gophers when he was at Purdue Boilermaker. And I kept thinking, oh, man, wouldn't that be cool if we had a guy like that? And of course not. Remember, we took Michael Bennett that year. Oh, goody.
That was what a... Oh, my goodness.
He was good for 1 year, and then he was just useless after that. And no, we're not talking about the Seattle defensive lineman out there, guys. No, I had to make that.
We're talking about a very fast running back who ultimately disappeared after some time.
Mm-hmm. He couldn't get. He basically was useless in any type of contact. He just flop on the ground. Good old times. Do you like Justin Gilbert? I might as well ask. But then again, I suppose we're set at cornerback, so maybe I shouldn't say that. Mosley, possibly a linebacker. They have him going to the Tennessee Titans. All kinds of guys like this. I would like to see. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
I would love to see us get more linebacker depth. I mean, yes, we have Gerald Hodges, we have Adi Cole, we have Chad Greenway, as a lot of people like and a lot of people dislike, to where you and I are on the fence. He's not an all-star, but he can do the job if need be sometimes.
Yeah, just not somebody you want to count on. Yeah. You know what
Larry
I mean?
Dean just got re-signed.
Yep, Larry Dean's been re-signed. He's mostly a special teams guy, but he can fill in at times. Gerald Hodges seems to be the guy that seems to be getting lost in the mix at times. They're like, where is he? He's on special teams, but you never see him out there in actual real snaps.
Yeah, and against his own benefit too. Desmond Bishop took his spot right before the preseason began. So
right before, yeah. Yep, and then, boy, that guy, geez, and then he had an ACL almost right away. That was really that was disheartening because he was just starting to get really good. Finally, it took him a while to get going, but once he did, I liked Bishop, and then bam, ACL. It's like, oh my god,
story of his career.
Yeah, after that really deep tear in his hamstring. Good times indeed. And yeah, we will talk more draft in the next episode too. I'll mention because I haven't gotten too deep into it. You're further in than I am at this point in time. I'll admit openly. Yeah, because it's because the free agency has just been a whirlwind. So I've been kind of stuck on that mostly, and of course the season wrap up and all that good stuff. So. I would be really thrilled, though, if one of those top defensive players did slip to the Minnesota Vikings, that being Khalil Mack or, of course, Clowney. The odds of it happening kind of slim, but you never know. With this league, you never know. People will get quarterback happy, and they'll take the next Blaine Gabbert, Jake Locker, and Christian Ponder, hopefully.
Yeah, no doubt, right?
It could be that way, yeah.
About the draft, too, is we've got all these mock drafts going into it, too. But we never truly know until that day of. And the weird part with all of this, too, is, yes, free agency is happening today. And look at the Vikings. I personally thought we were going to go into the draft and try to get a cornerback.
Yeah.
Well, we just went out and signed 2 of them being today.
Today, yep.
So this pretty much just ultimately changes the whole feel of a mock draft, even to even the Texans or the Browns. It changes priorities.
Yeah, it's completely different now. It just put the hammer on the cornerback position. If people like it or not, if you're hoping for the draft pick, it doesn't look like that's where we're headed. Very, very, very unlikely, actually. Yeah, because you have 3 now, three we'll call them sure things: Xavier Rhodes, Cox, and of course the captain. Captain Morgan. No, I'm just kidding. The captain. So that's 3 right there. Now it just becomes which one's the nickel, I suppose. And I don't know. I guess we'll get into that later. But I'll guess Cox, but then again, he's actually kind of a big guy, so I don't think they'd put captain there, so we'll see. It does change the whole focus, yes. So it looks like maybe another defensive end, maybe a linebacker. Anything could happen here. Mm-hmm.
I'd love to see us take a linebacker, like I said, just for pure depth reasons, too, because when we look at this free agency, we haven't made a big splash on the linebacker spot.
Yeah, I think that's the weakest spot right now on the roster, to be honest with you. Wouldn't you say?
And the last 6 years.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, with like a few rare exceptions, yeah, it's been pretty bad. E.J. Henderson just died. Like after he came back from that injury, he just wasn't the same again. Aaron, yeah, well, he was okay at times as an outside linebacker, but not inside. No way. No how.
Sorry, I think we need a redefinition of okay.
Yeah. He was slightly below average. There we go. I'll just be too nice about that. No, he wasn't that good. But as a middle linebacker though, he was as bad as it gets.
He was overall crap in a bottle.
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much.
He was like a Christian Ponder for the defense.
Last year for sure, and yeah, overall you could say the same thing, huh? Even when he was an outside guy.
He was horrible outside. Why the hell did we ever put him in middle?
Yeah, that was really dumb. It just tells you they just did not focus on linebackers at all. They figured, we got the best defensive line in the world, and they probably hoped that Winfield was going to come back, or that Xavier Rhodes was. Well, they probably didn't hope that, but they probably hoped that Xavier Rhodes was going to be a stud, and it's this Chris Cook guy was going to finally learn how to play football. Apparently not. Apparently not, right? That was a strike one, strike two, strike three. What the heck?
Yeah, I couldn't even tell you that situation last year. Like, I have said this, multiple times. I'm grateful to the year that we just had because it made everybody in the front office, like Rick Spielman, go, oh crap, I'm going to lose my job if I don't change stuff around here.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yeah, and it woke things up. I mean, yeah, I'm going to admit I was thrilled to see Ponder fail in that Cleveland game. I was thrilled, yes, they finally are going to wake up and take him out, permanently take him out, instead of be trapped in this, span of mediocrity. Me and Marcus get accused of being too negative all the time on Timberwolves explosion because of stuff like that. But it's like, no, you got to look at the big picture. I don't like being trapped in mediocrity because that is purgatory if you're a sports fan. I mean, just have that one really bad year. Then, see, the whole thing is, it's like, what's that movie again? Now I'm blanking. The blue pill and the red pill. You need to take the pill you need to take the pill where you wake up, and you don't want to be stuck in the pill where you're still asleep, and just kind of conditioned to the mediocrity, where Ponder's the guy, stuff like that. You want to?
Ponder is officially not the guy.
Yep, it's all over without a doubt. So now the $1 million. Go ahead.
I know we were talking about the draft a little bit there.
Yeah.
In the first round, I just want to touch on this for anybody who is thinking, well, what about the second round? Quickly.
Yeah.
Here's where I'm coming from. Torn ACL, doesn't run a 440. Zach Mettenberger, who's back to almost 100%, he said, by the time the draft comes around.
Mm-hmm.
Out of LSU, I think it's a perfect fit. He always ran a spread offense there. We can adjust our offense here to however he wants to run it. Give the ball to Adrian Peterson 70% of the time. I see it as just perfect. Then that way he can develop under Matt Castle. He can work with Peterson in practice, get the snaps that way too. And it's just a better situation than I could see him going to anywhere else or us having a different quarterback other than Derek Carr.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's a name I've heard that he can be kind of a sleeper because of that injury. Sometimes you're able to get a guy and they do recover from these type of situations. Good year in LSU. Most recently was it a 3,000-yard season, 22 touchdowns and all that. You have to get lucky. I mean, at this point, because the top guys, the old blue chip bust term that I use on this show once in a while, usually around draft time. Yeah, I'm scared to death of that happening again. 12th overall pick, Christian Ponder. People called it a reach, regardless if it was a reach or not. It ended up being a failed pick. We don't want to do that again. We really don't. And of course, I don't think Rick Spielman does either, because that will be the end of him. He makes a move like this and it works out. Well, that's going to really secure his job, isn't it?
Spielman didn't make that pick, did he?
Ponder?
Yeah.
It's like yes and no. They basically say he was the main guy pushing it, we'll say. Because, he wasn't the full-blown GM yet. No, you're correct there. But they say he was the main guy pushing it, though. That's what
they say that now that Ponder sucks.
Yeah, that could be. But that's what they were saying at the time, too, though. I still remember at the time they were saying Spielman really was after him even at the time then. And it's hearsay, so it's no guarantee, but that's what we've been told anyway. So I guess we'll just have to take it as is, or hope for the best in that one, right? Yeah, second round. Yeah, I mean, you never know. Second round, that would be really cool if we were able to pick up the right quarterback. Last time we took a quarterback in the second round, though, oh boy, that guy was Tavares. I don't think we'll do that again, though. And I'm not going to blame Spielman for that one. I'm going to blame Go ahead.
Talk about just getting out of Seattle, too. He just got cut by the Seahawks, too.
And I think he just re-signed, too, which is really funny. He just re-signed for like a cheaper amount or something. So.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. That son of a gun. One of those guys, he'll get a ring for throwing one pass in garbage time.
Does he get a legit ring for that, or is there like a backup ring?
I think it's all one and the same, unfortunately.
How? This guy he ruined the Vikings seasons.
Yeah, he was another one that I was hoping they weren't going to be conditioned to, forever. Was it the blue pill, right? That's the one where they stay asleep?
Yeah.
Yep. I don't know why I'm forgetting the name of the movie. It's really kind of sad. Pretty big name. But, well. Then again, this isn't movie phone, though, is it? So, any final thoughts you have about the draft? For the time being, anyway. We'll go into the next episode about that one, hardcore.
Yeah, my main thing is first round defense, second round either defense or backup quarterback. And then third round, I think we need to go out and go for defense. We're set. I think we need to draft one tight end for sure because we let go of Carlson, thank God.
Yeah, yep. That's another.
Because he only cost us 3 games himself.
Oh, he pissed me off big time. Yeah, the mistakes he makes were really bad. And then, of course, he gets the concussion again. Immediately re-signed with Arizona. So, yeah, that's another brief part we could throw in about free agency before we head into segment 3 into the fan interaction. Yes, Carlson cut. LaTroy Guion cut. And I'm kind of giving an ode to him because was it episode 2 or 3 when he was drafted? Episode 2, yeah, he was drafted. And I don't know, just for some reason, I just felt a connection to him when I read what he was saying. He couldn't believe he was drafted and his hands were shaking and all that. I still remember that, which is crazy. We're talking the beginning of Purple Mafia, April 2008. Oh, man. So I just felt a connection to him. I really liked what I read, and I saw how productive he was in limited time. And then Pat Williams leaves, and he kind of had to play out of position because he's kind of a Kevin Williams type of DT versus a Pat Williams type of DT, and didn't play very well as a starter. And now unfortunately, he's been cut because he doesn't really fit in with what they're doing right now.
And he also had a big salary.
Yeah.
What do you want to call it? A big affection to the salary,
salary cap hit.
$3 million when his contract was only $610,000 or something. He had a big thing.
A big cap hit, right? That's the word you're looking for.
Yeah, big cap hit. Yeah.
Yeah. So money did come into the factor as well, scheme and all that, and money came into the factor. So, just want to wish him the best of luck. I just felt kind of bad. Really liked him as a reserve. He was so good as a reserve. Just he would be so productive. He was like that in college as a reserve, and he got drafted, and he was just shocked. He couldn't believe it. And then he seemed to be kind of like a productive backup, but then, of course, starter. Not the same, out of his element, all that good stuff. And the other guy, another sad story, Greg Childs. Yeah, the guy who had both of his knees rip. I forget, PCLs, right? I believe.
Yes, I think they were PCLs.
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad for the guy, too, just because
Yeah.
he did spend only like 2 years here and he was injured.
Yep.
And the only reason we can let him go now is
Mhm.
because he is off of the IR officially.
Mm-hmm.
And he did just let out a thing before his cut saying, you know, I'm going to come back, I'm going to be good for the Vikings and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then we cut him, so it's kind of like, you know, he did
Yeah.
come up with Jarius Wright in that retrospect. I know you love Jarius.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do. Yep. Yeah, he came out with him. They were close friends and everything, too. Yeah, it's a really sad story, isn't it?
It really is. I'm like, I feel bad for the guy. I wish him nothing but the best of luck.
Yeah, me too.
And I really hope he takes this league by storm. But he's a deep type of guy to where I just, at his height, and if he can't get back to the speed that he likes, I just don't see it working out. So I think it's a good move for the Vikings.
Yeah,
I just feel bad.
Yeah, it's just a bummer. It's one of those things that kind of had to happen type of deal, right?
Yeah.
It's just one of those things, yep.
Too bad Ponder can't get hit by a car, and then we have to cut him too.
Yeah, and luckily he's only one. Yeah, they were PCLs. I just wanted to make absolute dang sure. I was relying on memory. Yeah, freak type of thing, yet at the same time, I guess he's just, unfortunately one of those type of guys that does get hurt. Ponder under contract only 1 more year. So if he's a backup, that's it, I hope. Hope we're the best for that. So, if there's nothing else via the draft or anything, I had to throw that in at the end about the guys getting cut. So, we'll take a quick break and we will jump into the fan interaction right after this. Contact us and support Purple Mafia by liking us on Facebook and following us on Twitter. Don't forget to call into our phone lines at 209-736-7877. That's 209-736-7877. And we are back here on Purple Mafia. And it is time for the fan interaction and, of course, the 2013 season wrap-up, even though this is State of the Vikings 2014. But you know how that works. We wrap up the previous year, even though it ended a while ago. But we had to do all the playoffs and stuff. And a million things going on in free agency. And, yes, we have a draft coming up. Yeah. So I posted a question on the Facebook page, and you heard in the jingle how to get there, along with the Twitter account and all that good stuff. We probably won't get to the Twitter today because it's just Facebook is flooded and Twitter's been kind of quiet. But I did ask the big question. Who is your 2013 Vikings player for MVP, biggest disappointment, and biggest surprise in a positive way? Then briefly say why. So we'll start with Brett McCarthy, who says Adrian Peterson MVP because he never gave up. Offense in general was disappointing, and Patterson and Cole were big surprises when they were used. Malcolm out of California saying MV Peterson. Coaches were disappointing, so it's kind of like they kind of go with general stuff and disappointing, and I could kind of see that. He says, I agree with Brett on surprises too. All in all, disappointing and surprising season. So basically, he agrees with Patterson and Cole being those guys. So yeah, only 2 people posted in there, but really appreciate that you guys did. Really appreciate it. So I suppose that kept it from being really crazy with like 19 or something. So being this is a long show anyway with the free agency going 8 bleep, and I guess that's probably a sign people want to put 2013 in the rear view mirror. So Sebastian, who is your MVP and all that good stuff?
My MVP, I will get to in a second. I'm going to start with my offensive, or my main surprise, nonetheless.
Yeah.
And I'd have to go with Cordero Patterson out of Tennessee, rookie.
Mm-hmm.
He was a guy who we were very weary about and very unsure. He played 1 good college year,
Yeah.
And I remember even listening on the show, we were like, well, one good year doesn't really mean anything, and this is the pros, and yada, yada, yada.
Mm-hmm.
But when you bring back a kickoff return for 109 yards against the Green Bay Packers,
yes,
you've solidified yourself in my eyes.
It's a hell of a start, isn't it? Hell of a way to start things. And against that team, of course. Yep.
And then my biggest disappointment, I'd honestly have to say, would be Chris Cook, just because we expected more as a fan base out of him. I know I didn't, but as a fan base, we'd like to see more. We were expecting him to step up at least a little bit when he just laid down on his back and got injured.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be that. And my MVP would probably have to also go to Cordero Patterson, just because he was so versatile, too, as a wide receiver. We put him back there for punts. We put him back there for kickoff returns. He was, I feel like, the guy. Yes, Peterson stepped up and played hard every single game, and so did Jared Allen. Jared Allen hasn't missed a game in forever, but Jared Allen's not on the team anymore, so I'm not going to include him on this one.
Yeah.
So I'd have to say Cordero Patterson, thank you for such a great season, and I pray that next year will be better for you.
That's really good. Yeah, and I like how you approached it with, you have to look at how the fan, how the fan base in general would look at it. Yeah, that's a good way to approach this type of, this whole type of poll or whatever you want to call it, questionnaire. Yeah, that's a really good way of putting it. Good points there. I'll do it out of order too. It's probably MVP should probably be last, but I always list it first for whatever reason. I've been doing that forever now. We'll start with the biggest surprise. Yeah, it's Cordero Patterson and Adi Cole, without a doubt. I have really good takes there, Brett McCarthy, and of course Malcolm agreeing, and you as well. Patterson, I had a good feeling about him, but of course, there's no guarantee. You were hoping we were getting a Cam Newton type of guy, where and I'm obviously it's a different position, but I'm just saying a Cam Newton type of result, where, wow, one good year in college, cross your fingers, that's kind of risky, and then bam, he was good in the NFL, at least as a rookie he was. that type of thing, where some guys they'll have one good year and then they just flame out right away. Patterson, not going to be that type of guy, from what we can tell anyway. Probably not. Adi Cole, complete surprise. Even though he showed signs here and there in replay, or in brief play and such, but overall, really, really stepped up immediately after being cut. That's pretty rare. So, huge surprise there. Disappointment, I have to go with, that was a really good take on Chris Cook in terms of the fans. It's like the way Ponder ended last season, it's like you'd want to give it to him. Oh, I'm getting a little echo, by the way. I don't know if you're getting you there?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I'm getting a little echo, but just letting you know. But pardon me. So Patterson. Yeah, so really, excuse me, Christian Ponder. I'm getting distracted from the echo there. Sorry about that. But yeah, now it's getting better. Sorry. Christian Ponder, a lot of us saw the way he was playing during the course of 2012. And we saw him, as he was on his way to not being a starting quarterback. I even listened to a really old episode of Purple Mafia from then where I was saying Christian Ponder's not a starting quarterback in this league. And it ended up being the case. So I probably shouldn't call him a disappointment the way things were heading, and the fans were agreeing at that. Probably why the numbers weren't so hot on this show, even the whole damn season, even in preseason and stuff. So I'll go with you on Chris Cook in terms of a lot of people saw, hey, he's the veteran of the secondary now. He's the veteran. Yeah. He's the guy, and he's physical. He brings some tools to the cornerback position. And then all of a sudden, right out of the gate, the whole damn year, completely useless. No eye for the ball whatsoever. Can't knock he could barely deflect a pass, much less force a turnover. And, of course, he got just absolutely baked every single time the ball was thrown deep in his direction. So, yeah, biggest disappointment. I'm running long here, sorry. MVP, it's like, it's kind of like essentially you want to go with Peterson. But, yeah, in a lot of ways, Patterson kind of was the MVP, wasn't he? He kind of was, the way he changed everything. He changed everything out there when he actually was getting used. Took half the season, just like the year before.
It's a good example of that Baltimore game.
Yeah, it just blew up, didn't he? Changed the whole game like multiple times in that one. Just an unbelievable player. So, yeah, I'll go with him because I think Peterson was slightly disappointing, actually. Did I say that out loud? He was a little bit disappointing. I mean, and I know, usually after a guy gets a 2,000-yard season, the next year's not even close. And it wasn't. So, yeah, I'll go with Cordell Patterson kind of in a sneaky way. And there really was no clear-cut MVP other than you gotta say, you could say Peterson in a way, but I thought he was slightly disappointing compared to what a lot of us hoped for, maybe 1,500 yards and 15 touchdowns or 12 or something, but didn't really happen that way. So before I run any longer, I will stop there.
Hey, a good running back means a good offensive line, and trust me, that offensive line laid down like Josh Freeman against the Giants.
Yeah, that was something else, wasn't it?
Oh my goodness!
Josh Freeman against the Giants. I don't know what he was throwing to. I think that stadium was haunted.
Seeing some ghosts out there.
Do you think so?
Oh, maybe.
I think it was haunted. Really, something's going on. I think it was maybe really old New York Giants players that played in like the 20s or something.
Didn't they switch locations though?
Yeah, that's the one thing. There must have been ghosts, though. There must have been ghosts in the building, though. Somehow, they somehow got there. Maybe it's old New Jersey ghosts. Maybe they weren't players; they're just ghosts. I don't know. I'm going crazy.
Come here, throw the games.
That too, or just that's still that's going to be a mystery for all time. Other than I guess the take was he really didn't give a damn, and that was the whole problem. Was late to everything. And that's obviously why Schiano just said, get the hell out of here, though. And unfortunately for him, he got shown the door as well as expected. Horrible season in Tampa, horrible season here. Josh Freeman, a year before, I was like, oh, my God, wow. He looks good. Remember when he came here and killed us?
Oh, he murdered us real good.
I was like, oh, my God, could you imagine him as a Viking? And then he comes here and did absolutely nothing.
Want to know what's funny?
Yeah.
The best quarterback we've had that's been semi-consistent over the last, let's say, good 7-10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Sage Rosenfels.
Yeah. He had some good... He was okay at times, wasn't he?
And, he was the most consistent. We knew what to expect out of him every time he came out onto the field.
Mm-hmm. He actually wasn't bad, was he? No. He wasn't great, but he wasn't
that 99-yard touchdown.
Mm-hmm. Was that to right? No.
No, that was
what am I talking about? That was way back. Yeah, pardon me. That's way back. What am I talking about? That was to Bernard Berrian. That was nice.
Surprised he didn't drop that one, too.
Yep, Stone Fingers Berrian. I don't think he was... that guy was one of the biggest busts of all time. And I couldn't tell you just how pumped I was when we got him. That was episode 5 of Purple Mafia. I was I was pumped. Or no, that wasn't even Purple Mafia. That was Paladino Live. Wow, weird. Anyhow, so, well, we have a birthday wish here.
His name is Felix Dipple.
Yeah, Felix Dipple. I really hope we're pronouncing your name right. I'm guessing so. He was saying he was responding to the thread where I said Adrian thinks adding Michael Vick makes the Vikings a playoff team. Thoughts? And it generated a trillion things. So, well, we'll get to what we can here. Felix was saying that's a bold statement. Maybe a change of scenery can help him. He's one of my favorite non-Vikings, and I bet he wouldn't do worse than Ponder. Oh, that's true. Right now, Ponder is the only quarterback we have. Of course, this is before we signed Castle. He says we need to get a veteran because I doubt we will get a rookie that can turn us into a playoff team right away. By the way, my birthday is Sunday. That was just this past week here. Can I expect a new show by then? Fingers crossed. And I do apologize. It's just, we weren't able to get a show till today. So I do apologize, Felix. And we do wish you a happy belated birthday.
Happy birthday, Felix.
Happy birthday indeed, and really do appreciate you. I believe he joined fairly recently, but gosh, he's the first person I've ever known to want every single episode of Purple Mafia. That's like impossible unless I can get I can change something maybe on iTunes. I'll see what I can do with Dylan if we can get more episodes available on iTunes, because I know it only goes back 25 episodes, which is not a whole lot. So yeah, I don't know why you'd want every single episode though, but I do appreciate it. Is my show that good, Felix? Is it? I don't know.
I think so.
Oh, thank you for that. I sure wish Clear Channel did, but then again, they like that guy. I don't even know if they like that guy an awful lot. And yes, he's good, the play-by-play voice of the Vikings, but I think he's a better play-by-play voice than a host. Uh-oh. Yeah, I shouldn't have said that. Okay, yeah, I did. That's part of radio, I guess. Anthony was saying, I don't know about that. Vic is on the decline. This is Anthony Batista, Anthony from L.A. Remember that name? Yes, sir. He's been kind of in hiding lately. He thinks Vic is on the decline. I don't like it. I would give up a second-round pick for Kirk Cousins, though.
No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not all on board with Cousins, but obviously, yeah, it's Castle now. So a lot of this, unfortunately, a lot of this is kind of in the past now. But yeah, I'm totally with him on Vic. Not sure about Cousins. I'm kind of, I don't know.
Cousins was a third-round pick, though.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't know if his stock went up that much. Yeah, they would have to go to the second round. But most of the people here not liking Vic too much. Brent was saying, that's being Brent Jacobson out of Lakeville, was saying the Vic signing would be for the purpose of bridging the gap up until the rookie is ready to go. Yeah, not like the big thing like Favre, Cunningham, Moon, and all that, like in the past. He even put Jeff George in there, who was just a one-year, very good Band-Aid, but one-year Band-Aid. So, yeah, I mean, I would have seen Vic as a bridge rather than one of those win-now type of guys. That did kind of seem like a classic Viking move, like we're always doing that crap. That's what I didn't like. Yankee.
Is that a bridge that always collapses? I mean, like, because he keeps fumbling the ball.
Which one? Oh, Vic?
Vic.
Yeah, that would have been a bad bridge.
35W, right?
Oh, no! Too soon. Okay, I'm sorry. Probably not too soon at this point, but oh, look at you. I know everybody. Huh?
So I'm not in Minneapolis anymore.
Oh. Oh, yeah, that's a thing everybody always says. Too soon about everything, but yeah. Oh, man.
Except for Ponder leaving.
Yeah, that's definitely not too soon. That's him leaving yesterday is too soon, isn't it? Or is not too soon, excuse me. Would not be too soon. There, I'm losing my mind. Yep, burning the midnight oil again. Yankee says, and yes, that's how you pronounce it, by the way. Yeah, I worked with him. Really, really good guy, by the way, in case he's listening. Really good guy, yeah. I worked with him back in 2010 at Boston Scientific. He says, I just don't want another McNabb situation, but seeing how he does, in preseason first. So, yeah, that was again with Vic. But wanted to give Yankee a shout out there. Larry Carlson saying, why do we always get lame ducks? Yeah, I agree. Mark Carlson before that was saying you can't unstink the quarterback position on this team without a quality player. Vic is a better choice than Ponder, but still will stink. Huh?
Said so is a rock.
Yeah, really. Yeah, he says he'll still stink even though I love his style of play. I picture him getting hurt. Yeah, very true. Mark is saying again, it doesn't get any cooler, Joey, than to have my dad aboard on the Purple Mafia show. Yes, sir. Yep. So that's Larry Carlson, the father of Mark Carlson. Mm-hmm. Now there's been 3 generations of Carlsons on that have been on Purple Mafia. Can you believe that?
Wow, that is nuts.
Yeah, I got Larry, Mark, and Anthony. Very cool. Very much appreciated. What's that?
I said, I think that's a Gold Star family.
Yes, it is. Yep, it is a Gold Star family indeed. They're going to be in the Purple Mafia Hall of Fame just like Sebastian. Sebastian's got that first ballot Hall of Fame ticket over there. Chris Porter, yep, going back in the, Chris Porter, I've known him since I started on the sportstuff.com. He's done a few shows on there in the past with hockey and such. He says, I don't think he would last a whole year healthy, and I agree with that. And who's this one? Huh?
Is that true?
Yeah, he's actually never played 16 games in a season. Did you know that? Not once.
No way.
Not once. Never, yep. So, I mean, just all those stats that you talked about Michael Vick. So I don't want him. It has nothing to do with the whole dog thing. I'm not even thinking about that.
That's behind.
Yeah, talk about not saying too soon with him. You know, it's like, it's way back in the past. Now, who's this crazy guy at the bottom here? Who's this guy?
You never know.
Do you see who this guy is under Chris Porter?
Oh yeah.
Do you want to read it or speak?
You can go ahead.
This is probably the first time this has ever happened, but you were saying, this being Sebastian, yes, so saying, I think we can sign Vic. What can it truly hurt? Let him battle for the spot if he gets it. Cool. If he doesn't, then we have a veteran quarterback backup everyone else talks about. Then draft a second-round quarterback and see how it works. Mack in the NFL draft. I mean, Khalil Mack, right?
Yep.
Oh, there you go. That's probably the first time we've ever. Oh no! I've done it with Vince Germano on the Showtime and T-Wolves show. That's another new one with Lakers and Timberwolves. Ooh, imagine that.
Talk about a team on the decline. L.A. Lakers.
Yeah. Yep. If you're listening, Vince. Yeah, and definitely he knows about that. He is all about the draft, just like me and Marcus for the Timberwolves. Yeah, he is all about the draft. Luckily, he's honest about it. People commenting about Castle re-signing after all. Robin Sullivan saying, how do you feel about this? Basically, I feel comfortable. I didn't respond, which is kind of mean of me. That's kind of, I didn't mean to not respond. I kind of wanted to just stay out of the way and let people, go rather than have me jump in and change the conversation too much.
Did you at least like it?
Yes. Yep. Yeah, I didn't even say that. What the hell's wrong with me? Yeah, there now. Yep. Yeah, I'm comfortable with it. Yes. Yeah, but do you like it?
I'm very comfortable with it too, just the sheer fact of he has had 1 year under the system, or with purple and gold.
Yeah,
he said it. Yeah, quote unquote under his quote to the referee last year's preseason game. It's better than that red and mustard yellow.
Oh yeah, that. I actually like those colors, which is kind of sad because I liked the Atlanta Hawks back in the day. But that's a goofy topic right there.
I believe it's Farzine who's the host to the Chiefs. There's a little shout out to you.
Yes, sir. There he is. Yep, and the Chiefs zone Farzine Vasugian. Hopefully he's listening. And he, Greg Prinke saying good, so he liked it. Yep, I feel comfortable and happy with Castle signing. Now it's like, obviously, we know where we're headed. Probably not taking a quarterback in the first round, but if we do, we do, and give him a chance to develop. So, Farzine Vasugian saying $63 million contract? Because we know why he said that. Huh?
So let's hope not.
Yeah, and we know why he said that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yep, his club, the Kansas City Chiefs, for those of you maybe wondering what's he talking about, Kansas City Chiefs inked Matt Castle to a $63 million contract after one good season in Kansas City, where it was actually a really good season in 2008. They narrowly missed the playoffs with an 11-5 record. And I have never seen that happen. But talk about a good system there in New England. But, $63 million. It didn't work out too good in KC. Dave Hickey out of Iowa saying, wow, when did this news break? I think Castle will do good for us if we just stick with him. Even if he struggles in a game, it's not, as long as it's not 4 or 5 games. And yeah, I don't see Castle stringing together a bunch of crappy games. So, I agree with that sentiment. Vince?
He's had too many touchdowns.
Which one?
I said he gets too many touchdowns on like Christian Ponder.
Yeah, he gets a lot more than Christian Ponder, doesn't he?
Well, I think something we also have to look at too is this is Norv Turner's offense. This is something completely different from Musgrave. To where Musgrave, we knew exactly what play they were going to run, even if we're 45 rows up on the second deck of the Metrodome. I could call out it's going to be a run to Adrian Peterson on 2nd and 5. That is quite obvious from anybody. to where if it's 2nd and 5 with Norv Turner, you don't know what the heck is going to happen next.
Yeah. I mean, talk about upgrades. Oh, we're going from Windows 95 to Windows 8 right there. I mean, literally.
I think the only player worse or anybody worse that could do as bad of a job would be Christian Ponder.
Really? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, of course. I mean, no kidding. Yeah, I mean, really though. No, I agree with that. I mean, yeah, I mean, Phil Musgrave. My goodness. And what's funny is, this is the only team Bill Musgrave could actually look like the better coordinator, because Alan Williams was the worst coordinator in the NFL.
Yeah, what happened?
In my opinion. In my opinion. Oh, go ahead.
I said, what happened with that?
Boy, it's beyond me. Lots of disconnect with the players. It's just, I mean, obviously that's a huge thing. The players had so little confidence in him that they would literally kind of call audibles on the field. And I guess supposedly that even happened in 2012. How about that, when the defense actually looked good? So that's not good when your coordinator's so bad that they're like, yeah, we're not doing this. Could you imagine? This is an NFL team, and that's the way things were carrying out on the field.
Yeah,
Right.
well, it kind of felt like a high school game whenever you went.
Yeah. I mean, one horrible mistake after another. Special teams coordinator, generally good, but he had that worst game I've ever seen pretty much against Cleveland. That's another topic. Obviously, that was a long show. Look up Double Fake out there. I think that's still available. It's not 25 episodes old. Double Fake. Probably my best episode of the whole year, in my opinion. Lori saying WTF. Probably, yeah, she does. I'm guessing she probably thought 63 million, but no, that's not what happened. Jacob saying, still could sign Vic. I don't want either quarterback as a starter, but I would rather have Vic than Castle if I had to choose from the two.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, oh no, it's like we all have a right to an opinion, but I'm probably not on board with that one. Gary Kenny, we'll wrap up this one right here. Why on earth do they continue to shoot themselves in the foot? They keep Ponder. My mind is blown, he says. Then they take Castle back after he walked out thinking he was going to get more money someplace else, and then that didn't pan out. Who's the idiot running the show in the main office over there?
Well, I think I commented not too far under that, too. I mean,
oh, yeah.
Spielman's done a good job since he's gotten to be the full in charge general manager. He's brought in a coaching staff who's looking dang good at this point within free agency. Something that the Vikings can honestly say we have not done since probably the early 2000-2004 era. So, Spielman's not doing a bad job, and I think it was Norv Turner who talked to Matt Castle and said, hey, you're going to be a building block to this. Please stay. He was just sick of what Musgrave and Frazier were running, and that's why he wanted to get the heck out. But I feel like when he got to talk to the new coaches, he felt comfortable with it.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I mean that change kind of had to be made. The current coaching staff, if they were still here, Castle had to be gone. I mean, it wasn't handled well at all. Though the $1 million question, a lot of people might say, is who really was responsible for Ponder going back in? Was it Frazier or was it Spielman? Some people think it was Spielman, but
it was a bad choice.
Yeah, either way, it was a bad choice. Yep, that's a good way to say it. Yeah. You were saying he was a good draft guy and such. So, yep, I agree with that. I didn't even click like yet because I'm just so out of the loop. Sorry about that. So many comments on here. Chris Tucker out of Vancouver is saying, first of all, I like the signing. Not love, but like. Also, of course, Castle avoided his deal as he knew he was worth more on the open market. Second, to address Gary, Castle played well last year. Unfortunately, the coach and GM were too proud or scared to see what we all saw and leave him as a starter over Ponder. As an offense with mostly Ponder starting, we put up points, but unfortunately the D was historically bad, which brings me to why I like the signing. This gives us massive flexibility in the draft. Yeah, that's true.
It's true.
we now can stack the D in the draft and leave drafting a quarterback until next year, if given, or in the later rounds. If the worst case happens and bottles, Manziel and Bridgewater are gone by 8, leaving us my personal dark horse. Who's this guy? Nettenberger from LSU. In the second, but probably third round. So, yeah, we'll see. Who knows where he might get. I'm thinking second just because I think somebody's going to want to bite. Hopefully it's us, actually. He watched the guy all year and looks to have the tools, but needs a year to learn and recoup from his injury. The only reason he drops in the draft. Yeah, for sure. I agree with that. I think we'll leave this as is because it turns kind of into a conversation at that point, if that's okay with you. Okay.
I think one thing that would be fantastic, a quick little note, too, is if we get somebody like Mettenberger, a pocket quarterback who could work with Norv Turner then, and even then, he could easily beat out Matt Castle for that starting spot. All he's got to do is show that he can throw it consistently. I mean, like, Castle hasn't put up record numbers or anything, so, like, I like Castle as a quarterback, and I'm not going to, like, totally go dissing on him, but I'm just going to say it's not a hard position to win.
No, it really isn't at this point, is it? It really isn't. No. No, it's definitely an open possibility if someone with skills, special skills, that's a word, those are two words I like to use a lot on here. If somebody with special skills comes in and proves that he has those special skills, there you go. Here's the ball, young man. Here's the ball. Big time. I mean, that's what we've been waiting for around here for a while, other than a one-year wonder in a legendary quarterback with his last good season. I remember, you said something, well, I'll go with Brent really quick first. He was saying, I admit I have no life, so I did another 7-round mock draft for the Vikings. Holy moly. But, but I guess we'll look at it really briefly. Number 1, Khalil Mack. So I would not be complaining there. Number 2 round pick, Lamarcus Joyner, safety from Florida State. So, boy, he's really defensive-minded here. Third round, the first or third round pick, Chris Borland, inside linebacker, Wisconsin. Number 3, and I agree with this one in terms of, take a running back in here if unless there's was it that guy I call him Droyer, I guess out of Pittsburgh. He's available. I wouldn't mind him as a third down back actually out of free agency. I'll just throw that out there. But he has a Carlos Hyde, running back from Ohio State. Would be a great change of pace bruiser back.
I think that's too high.
For him, you think it's too high? Yeah.
I mean, like, that's too early in the draft to go after somebody. If we're going to be looking after somebody, you got to think we're trying to bring in somebody who's going to be a backup to the Adrian Peterson.
Yeah. Yep.
We don't want another Toby Gerhart type of situation where we think, oh, okay, sweet, we know we've got this running back who is a backup Heisman. Okay, well, great. Well, let's sit him for 3 years.
Yeah, that's true. That's the thing. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to take like the high end type of running back at that point. Yeah, I mean, that's where I was looking at I don't know why I'm blanking on him now, but yeah, it's the guy out of Pittsburgh. He was the backup. Is it Droyer? He was the backup running back there. Yeah, I would not. Yeah, I would not mind him as a third down running back here to replace Gerhart. I would not mind that because he would not command a lot of money.
You also got to remember, is he able to catch out of the backfield? I mean, to go back to Chester Taylor.
Oh, that'd be a dream.
With the new offense of Norv Turner, I've been able to watch that over my years growing up. Is he likes to throw it out of the backfield? Yeah,
that's the kind of offense I like an awful lot at times. Yeah, I actually like that offense. And the memories. Yeah, it'll be nice to have a real offensive coordinator finally. Oh, it's been a long stinking time. It really has.
Since Belichick, right? Or Billick.
Billick, yeah. Really, in all honesty, yes. Bevel's done good in Seattle, but I'll leave that alone. I wasn't blown away by him here really at all. He was good when Favre was here in 2009.
One-year wonder.
Yeah, one-year wonder. Yep. I'm glad he's not the head coach of the Vikings. Brent has Zach, your guy and others, Zach Mettenberger, slipping to number 4, fourth round anyway, coming to Minnesota. I don't know if he'll slip that far. I think somebody's going to bite, personally, unless he's really
healthy.
hurt. Yeah. What was that?
He's too healthy.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I don't think he's going to slip that far, because if he's healthy, someone's going to bite. Someone's going to say, yep, here it is. There's my sleeper pick. What? Buffalo took him? Come on. I missed out, See, I think, and I'm making up a name there, but that's how the draft goes way too often. Like, you think this guy's going to slip, and then there he goes.
And then become the, next, Russell Wilson. You're like, oh, my God.
Yeah, and then you're pissed off.
Then you got the most cocky fan base on the face of the earth.
Even worse than the Packers, aren't they?
They're close. They're not worse. They're close.
They're right there. Yeah, I was going to see what you were going to say to that. Yeah, I'm not a fan. No, that's why when I love you, Paul Tuniverse Kenneth, if you're listening. But when he put that sign or that post, that Facebook post or whatever, where it just said nope, like when I'm blanking, but when that pass was deflected, final play of the game when San Francisco lost, I just simply typed in nope is right. I'm still not a fan. That's all I had to say about that. But that's an interesting mock draft. I just see Mr. Menberger going higher, though this was about a week ago, this post. And you were talking about, let me throw something at you here and see how much you like it. Zimmer, Turner, Hoyer, the quarterback of the Vikings. Hoyer, huh?
I think Hoyer's a decent guy.
Mm-hmm. I like him. I liked him with the Browns last year, actually, before he had that ACL.
Last year.
He was good, wasn't he?
And yet again, I'm kind of afraid of another Freeman situation where he comes over and we're like, oh my God, we got a good quarterback, and then he just sucks.
Yeah, does absolutely nothing. Yeah, because he did have some really ugly passes in that game, I'm going to admit. But then after that game, and during that game, he was very clutch, and he had a clutch drive to win it. But also after that game, it's like he changed. He was just really good, and they went on a winning streak.
A big one, too. Yeah, they took the NFL by storm there for a few weeks.
I thought the Browns were going to be a sneaky team, and then ACL. Ugh. And then they fired Jasinski, who actually looked kind of good. He actually looked kind of good, even though it's
I don't know why they let him go.
Yeah, and they brought in a guy. Who's that again? I have no idea.
Did they sign somebody yet? They took forever.
Mm-hmm. As a coach? Yeah, but I don't even know his name. It's just like they signed Vince Germano. There we go. I didn't even read his, shame on me, I didn't even read his post. That's why I was like, I better bring him up here. He was saying this about Castle. He's saying, could be worse, Brandon Whedon, or however the hell you spell it. And I agree.
That's true.
Brandon Whedon. Ugh.
Yeah, he's bad.
He sucks. So, yeah, I feel for Browns fans there. And they benched him for Hoyer, and that was one, or actually, Whedon was hurt, and then Hoyer went in instead of the backup, Jason Campbell. And Hoyer was excellent in that game and beyond. And then, obviously, the ACL, and that killed that team. Bummer. Yeah, Jasinski should not have been fired. I didn't like it, even though things went down the toilet after that. Still, come on now. Come on,
it's 1 year. Come on, give the guy a break.
Yeah, that was really harsh. He had things going well until that ACL happened. So, oh boy, I feel for that team because that's one of the few NFL franchises left. Dare I say, without a Super Bowl ring. So I feel for them a little bit.
Only because we don't have one either.
Yeah, exactly. And watching their former franchise win, and now they have 2 rings. Just like we watched the Dallas Stars win a Stanley Cup. Was it 6 years after they left Minnesota? That was not fun.
Yeah.
I was pissed. No. Mm-hmm. It's like, don't get me started, right? Don't get either one of us started.
I'm still pissed about that. And I was barely even born. I was 5 years old when that happened.
Mm-hmm. I was 14, and I was trying not to... Well, I was not quite 14 yet. I was going to turn 14 in the summer, but I remember watching that, and it was sickening. I actually recorded it, Minnesota and Detroit. So we'll save that for Brave the Wild. Sorry, I'm rambling. Yeah, you can tell we love sports, can't you, out there?
Good little segue. Listen to Brave the Wild and Timberwolf Explosion.
Yes, sir. Do check those out, and I will be recording a Brave the Wild soon. Did not record last week because of schedule was just too crowded. It just simply was. I mean, yeah, way too crowded. I had to record Timberwolves Explosion whenever Marcus is available, and when he's available, I am recording. Dang it! So because I never know when he's going to be around. And then of course the next night I had overtime because it's the Monday's kind of that week, and then yeah, obviously last night. Last night wasn't the night to record. Tonight was for Purple Mafia. So anyhow, yeah, enough of that.
Can I do the next one?
Which one?
The next post.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Mark Carlson says, I sure miss listening to Joey Awajan and the Purple Mafia podcast. Life is dull without it. And I would love to give Mark Carlson my own gold star. I've been wanting to do this.
Yeah.
But thank you, Mark Carlson.
Thank you, Mark Carlson. You will get the gold star for this episode.
Definitely. That's like the greatest feel-good moment is when you hear that go off and you're like, I did something. I know I've got at least 1 million to my name, so.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's the whole thing. Yep, the gold star. I remember how you were saying how much you love it in the past, so yeah, and you'll be getting more. You know what? Oh yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, you basically, yep, you're gonna get my personal gold star for being a great co-host here. Really appreciate you. Really do, Mr. Sebastian. You get my personal one, but I'll give the show one will go to Mark Carlson, issued from Sebastian. So you get the honors for that. You've been a nice co-host here though today. I do appreciate it a lot.
This is a blast. I love coming on.
Mm-hmm. So we're about to wrap things up. We'll wrap things up with the captain of the ship being Munner Lindby is on board. For 3 years, as I continue to sound more and more goofy here. Brent Jacobson says he was a nickel back in Carolina because that's another thing. Yeah, he is a smaller guy, and that might be why he got some of those pick sixes. He says, is he really ready to cover the likes of Alshon Jeffrey, Randall Cobb, Golden Tate, or is he being brought in to play a similar role to what he did in Carolina? Possibly, because we did sign the
I can see him covering them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's 6 years into the league. You got to think about that, too. And you think about that. He's been in the NFC. So he's had to face Green Bay a handful of times, because we play a similar schedule to Green Bay. Mm-hmm. He's had to face all those, Megatron and whatnot, and
49ers.
Alshon Jeffrey and them. He's had to face all those same guys. So he's proved that already.
Yeah, and he's done a darn good job. So, I mean, and even if he is the nickelback, he'll be damn good at it. He'll be a hell of a lot better than what we had last year. Ugh, I don't even want to say his name anymore.
Josh Robinson?
Oh my God. He must have been the worst nickelback ever. Don't tell me you liked him. Don't tell me you liked him.
Marcus Sherrills did better than that.
He killed him. I mean, Marcus Sherrills, excuse me, Marcus Sherrills or Josh Robinson, it's like 100 miles apart. And Sherrills is a guy that's your fourth cornerback on most teams. But yeah, he looked like a superstar around that guy.
Want to know something funny too?
No, what's that?
A couple of years ago, the only reason we were so high on Josh Robinson is because he had the fastest 440 time.
Yep, yep. That was what it was. He was the fastest guy in the draft. Dang it. That's it. There it is. Fastest guy in the draft. You can't go wrong. We got to tell the Oakland Raiders that, don't we?
Right. That's why I said Sammy Watkins is going there, because we know how they draft.
Yeah. I was chuckling there, and then I blanked and didn't even go back to it, and I apologize. Yeah, it was hilarious. Like, that's what the Raiders do. They draft speed receivers because that's all they do. They draft fat quarterbacks too, but okay, I didn't say Jamarcus Russell.
Oh.
Yeah, that one's definitely not too soon, is it?
Oh.
Malcolm out of Oakview, California, saying hopefully a similar role as Carolina. He always seems to be around the ball. Yeah, I really like that take right there. That's a sneaky good take. Because, yeah, having him as a nickelback, then like you said earlier, nickelbacks can get those pick sixes because of the way they're set up defensively. And well, what did he do when he got those? He got 5 touchdowns over the course of his career, so not bad. We'll take it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we know what pick sixes can do. I mean, they can change an entire game, and on occasion the entire season.
I was about to say the season too, because you get 2 or 3 pick sixes, your team gets on a roll, and you're good for good or 7-8 games. Right there, you've pretty much qualified yourself in the playoffs right there for a wild card spot in the NFC. I don't think the AFC anymore since they're so good, but.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, AFC, holy moly. Yeah, no, that's very true. I mean, little things can really change the whole season. The NFL is crazy. I've seen whole seasons disappear in an afternoon against a crappy team at the time, the Tampa Bay Bucks. I've seen a whole season just fade in front of my eyes in a matter of a couple hours. It's not fun. And in a matter of seconds, too.
That remind me of the 6-0 Vikings that collapsed.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that was really, really, really painful.
What year was that again?
2006,
right?
Yeah, or was this? It must have been 5. No. Yeah. It was the year we had Mike Tice, right?
Yeah.
Was Mike Tice the coach? Yeah.
Because then we missed the playoffs because we lost to Arizona, and then Chris Hovan was over on the side crying.
2003. Yep. That came back immediately. Yeah, 2003. Yep, 2003. Yep. We were 6-0, and everything just went down the you-know-what. And Farrat was actually good in the little times he was in when he had to replace Culpepper when he had the broken vertebra. That was kind of crazy. Yeah, I still remember all that stuff. It's crazy. Yeah, that year went down the you-know-what. Pretty frustrating. Okay, we'll make this the final post here for Facebook, and then we will call it a show. This I believe I don't know if I've seen her on here before. This might be her second. I think I've seen it before, but I don't want to leave her out because I haven't seen her post very often. She says, "I like the Castle signing." This is Diane String. I like the Castle signing. We need D-line and linebacker help before we draft future quarterback. I would take Khalil. Norv will help Matt bridge the gap until we get a franchise quarterback. Could be some sleeper quarterbacks in later rounds. McCarron could still be there in the third.
Do you think McCarron's at least a decent draftable guy?
I'm going to be honest. I don't know a whole lot about him, honestly, which is kind of sad.
I've heard it. He doesn't have enough arm strength, and he's not clutch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I need to study up for the draft more before the next episode, so I don't want to make a black or white take on him. So, say that again. So, because I was kind of rambling on you. Sorry about that.
I said, yeah, I agree.
Okay, or I mean before about McCarron. How did you say it?
Oh, I was just wondering if you think that he'd be a quality quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to wait on that. Yeah, it's like I'm gonna have to do some more research first before I can have like I said, black or white take. Yeah, because I was kind of responding to her there too on that one. Malcolm was saying, I like the idea of getting a stud linebacker in the first and a quarterback later. Then who knows? They start next season. Yeah, I think it's going to be a very defensive heavy draft. Historically bad defense, really good defensive guru coming in. Yeah, it does spell a very defensive-minded draft, doesn't it?
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, once you look at it, too, you got Brent's picks and my picks, and they're almost all defense. The only really offensive pick I'm really taking is Mettenberger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so, too, and then maybe a sneaky running back if we don't sign Droyer out of Pittsburgh, which I would be all about, inexpensive move, stuff like that. You got to get at least some kind of second string running back in there, third down running back in there. We'll see who it is. That's all obviously going to be on the next episode, so we'll focus pretty much only on that. Maybe some more new free agent stuff or Viking news. There's always going to be something. So it's the Vikings. This has been a beast of a show. Big show, but a lot of fun things to talk about. I really appreciate you, Sebastian. This was fantastic.
I love doing it. I couldn't be any happier.
All right. Thank you very much. And it's very safe to say Sebastian will return to Purple Mafia. Yeah. You will be back on. Yes. If you want to, anyway. If you want to.
Oh, I'd love to. This is a blast.
For sure. Maybe for even the next episode, as long as my schedule isn't ape crap and you're available, I'll probably have you on for the draft show. I mean, I can't think of anybody I'd rather have for that one. So.
Yeah, that's the only draft I've actually covered up to down, probably because the Vikings don't have to take a wide receiver in it.
Finally, right? Yeah, we don't have to. That's the good news. So, in closing, the Vikings will probably not take a wide receiver. They shouldn't.
Seventh round, maybe.
Yeah, something like that. Special teamer or something. That's usually what seventh round is. Some kind of special team linebacker or a special team wide receiver or God knows what. Or a kicker or punter. But we're not going to do that.
Hey, wasn't Captain a seventh round pick? It can work out.
Yeah, once in a while. Yeah. So, hopefully we'll take a cornerback there then, and he'll eventually develop under one of these guys. Yeah, we got to get right once in a while. One of us. It's always somebody else, and we're always signing them to a new contract here. It's got to be our turn.
Let's hope so.
Let's hope indeed. So with that, that'll be the slogan going into the next show. We'll leave you with that. Let's hope it's our turn. We'll be back in the next week or two to talk NFL draft, and that's about it. And of course, obviously, like I said, other news. We'll talk to you then. Until then, enjoy the warmer weather here in Minnesota, and in Seattle, do stay dry. All right, take care, everybody.